water industry as a whole is when you deep well inject water from one source to another, which is what the Water Alliance is really looking into right now, which is why they're interested, is once you deep well inject it, that water tends to, for the majority, stay where you put it. You're going to lose some, and it's going to, in a roundabout way, lead through nooks and crannies, but for the majority of it, it's going to stay there put for you to pull out, possibly during a drought season. So aquifer storage and recovery, it's a little revolutionary. We haven't really been doing much of it, but it's hitting Central Texas. I believe there's a project in Belton, there's a project on Fort Hood. We're starting to see more and more of it, and I think we're going to be as more people move to Texas from other states.
It's very interesting. I like to see the science on it. It sounds cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing because it seems almost like that water should be going, like if we have excess, it should be going down. So when we start doing that, then who above us is going to do that to us?
Well, in theory, we'd only really be doing it with the lake school, and yes, in a roundabout way, that could be affecting your downstream partners. I mean, that's something that you have to look at. It could very well be negatively impacting someone else. So, not to mention all this water is basically making its way to the coast in one manner or another, specifically Freeport, and you have a large amount of industrial users that really want that water, that are waiting on it. But if you catch it before they get it, I mean, you're negatively impacting yourself, but you're also helping yourself. So at some point, yes, we need to be worried about our neighbors, but we also have to perform our due diligence to make sure the future of Lampasas has water.
Off topic, Steve, but on topic. You keep hearing about these data centers. I mean, how much water, is that affecting us? Could it affect us?
It can always affect us. They use and it depends. I haven't done enough preliminary research on this to speak in absolute confidence, but they don't only have to use water for cooling. There's other measures, there's other capabilities they can utilize to perform the same cooling practices as water would. To some degree, they're still going to be taking water, and yes, it is a tremendous amount of water. So I don't think currently we have a way to restrict that in some manner, other than the fact that we can serve it every can.
Ability to serve them.
Right. Yep. Thank you.
Discussion regarding tentative budget workshop dates and times.
Mayor and council, a few weeks ago, I had sent out an email to council requesting when you may or may not be available for budget meetings. I've heard back from most of you, and I think in speaking with the mayor and Mayor Pro Tem this morning, we'd like to propose that our first budget meeting be July 1st at noon. I know that's an early start, but we have a lot of important topics that we need to cover. I realize that's a church day, so we can get out before anyone needs to attend church services if you need to. But we have a lot of conflicting schedules, so I would like to propose Wednesday, July 1st at noon as our first budget meeting.
I'm okay with that.
Noon.
How long do you anticipate budget meetings to be? Because like once school starts, like after July 14th, I'm not good with anything at once.
Yeah, I just really am kind of pushing for that one daytime meeting because I think it's important that we all sit and talk about some things, and then I think we can accomplish what we need to in evenings. I know, Dorothy, you've got quite a bit of unavailability through the month of July, and Davis is out the full last week of July. Last year we kind of piggybacked our budget workshops pre-council meetings. I'm up for any other suggestions aside from July 1st because I don't think we're going to get through all of it in one day.
Do we have time?
Y'all tell me.
What about spring?
I'm around. I'll make myself available from now on out. But I don't have anything planned.
Like you said, we could do it the 13th before.
Okay. And you said you start school on the 14th? Could,
And I'm gonna have to get back with you on July 1st.
okay.
I'm not certain I'll be back.
I'd prefer to have budget knocked out in July.
I do too.
That'd be the same 12 o'clock on the 13th or later.
If we can swing 12 o'clock on the 13th, that would be great, but I know that's cutting into a couple work days for folks.
I will be out on the 13th.
Right.
Is there a way I can do some streaming it or anything?
Typically, when we have our budget workshops, we're down here and there's not going to be audio available. We've tried to set it up with like a Teams meeting on my laptop, and the audio is just not satisfactory.
Can we go ahead and put it down first?
Yes.
You all want to look at the 8th, just in case the first doesn't work. We need to look at it. I know, that's what I'm saying, the 8th, the first, the 8th, or 13th. I mean, I'm good with any of those 3 days. So,
The 8th at noon as well.
yeah, I'm good with any of those 3 days. 1, 8, or 13.
Could we do anything earlier, right after July 1st? That week, or even on Monday?
Or we can swing up.
So we can.
The mayor's gone until early July. So he may not even be back for the first.
Yeah, there's that new.
We could potentially do the 6th. Eric is unavailable that morning.
I'm unavailable the 6th, at about 5. So we're good. So, yeah.
You're out. Are you available earlier, Kathy? On the 6th?
So we could do noon to, what time did you say you were unavailable?
Maybe a little before that to get it set up, so maybe about 3.
Okay, well, I think that gives us some options. If you can confirm your availability on the 1st.
I'm good with 6 or 8 Thursday.
Perfect. Okay. I will firm that up and send that back out to council.
Discussion regarding any items on the regular session for June 8th, 2026.
I have a question. Regarding one of the items. We have a acknowledgement proclamation on Juneteenth that is on the regular session. But I want to make sure that everyone knows that we feel to recognize it as a holiday for the city. And I don't feel that that's right. We have not acknowledged it as a holiday on the city calendar. It is a federal holiday, but we're going to put in a proclamation acknowledging it. Which seems kind of half-lit.
It's acknowledging it for the celebration.
I understand that, but people died
Sure.
for this.
But
Okay, they have a war over it.
let's have the celebration acknowledged by the city.
I understand they're acknowledging it, but the proclamation doesn't do anything. It just acknowledges it.
So what do you want then, Charlie?
I think we should have it, I think it should be a city holiday.
And
And we have, I
all
know
the city is off that day.
I think it should be, because it's acknowledged as a federal holiday.
I agree.
That's my opinion, and I'll do what y'all want with it, but I think because it's acknowledged as a federal holiday, that we as a city should also acknowledge.
I agree, because we had talked about it, and then Aaron, when we voted on it, they wanted to replace something.
We were worried about the money, on how much it was gonna cost.
Right, but I agree.
It costs more in lives to abolish slavery than it's gonna cost us one day.
I agree.
How many holidays do we have right now for the city employees?
12 paid holidays.
How many?
12 paid holidays.
So we have after Christmas, Christmas Day, Thanksgiving Day, after Thanksgiving. New Year's.
We have President's Day, I'm sorry, let me pull up the list. New Year's Day, President's Day, July 4th, Memorial Day, Good Friday, Labor Day, The only one that's typically recognized that we don't currently recognize is Columbus Day. We have a council meeting that always falls on that. Veterans.
I think it's a good thing to have a holiday, as long as we recognize the importance of it. And that's the only thing I know is that we, Veterans Day, hardly anybody recognizes it.
I think if we're gonna have a proclamation for it, I think we should actually recognize it. That's just my opinion. I'll tell you later.
So does a proclamation not recognize the holiday?
We recognize the holiday, but we don't recognize it as a city.
Employees.
It's not,
But what
it's
is,
not, the
what is
recognized
recognizing as a
holiday.
holiday and giving folks off, what does that do in remembrance of
It's
the abolishment of slavery?
because it's a federal holiday.
It's also
The
the
federal government is closed on that day. But we close on other federal holidays, and I think that consistency is what we
We
should
don't
do.
close on Indigenous Peoples' Day or Columbus Day, whatever you want to call it.
And that's something that we should look at.
So we should do that too.
I think we should start looking at those, yes.
Should we set aside time for that?
We do a lot of proclamations without holidays.
I'd like to see us talk about all the holidays, not just.
I think we do a lot of proclamations, and I'm not sure,
The proclamation doesn't recognize that. That's what the proclamation does.
This is a very important proclamation to that, Juneteenth. It gives the city recognition and identifies that it's an important day, even if it's not paid holiday by employees. To people in the community that are on that committee, they've worked hard, and it's a very important thing for them to put this together, bring historical background, bring history of local black people in Lampasas.
The proclamation is like the spirit of actually honoring that.
Yes, yes.
Whereas just having a day off doesn't honor it.
No, it doesn't, that was it.
I'm not saying, I think it would be, I think it's important that we do both. Honor the fact that it is a federal holiday, include the proclamation. It's
My
all
understanding,
in one.
when we began talking about this from the very beginning, that we were going to be able to put it in the budget in this next
We
budget.
were going to discuss it during this year's budget session workshops.
Yeah.
And the instruction that I received from council was to issue a survey to our employees to see which holiday they would be willing to give up in exchange for the Juneteenth holiday,
Yeah.
if that was the decision to be made.
That's the way I understood it too, as well.
And that's the purpose of my talk, is to get the conversation started. We gotta do something.
Well, I think the conversation's been started for sure.
I mean, we abolished and ended slavery in America. I think
The way you're making this argument is basically saying if you're against shutting down the city, that you're against
no,
abolishing slavery, and that is a crazy argument.
no, that's not my argument. I appreciate you.
Considering it's already been voted on, and this is not on the agenda, we can look at it for next year.
And I was only speaking about the proclamation. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Anything else? Okay, get a motion to adjourn workshop.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And we will call our regular session to order. All rise.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we're grateful to be here tonight in this beautiful city of Lampasas. We thank you for all those in attendance. We ask that you be with us, make some good decisions, and hopefully we'll do a better job for our community, which is what it's all about. We ask that you watch over us and safety till we can meet again. Forgive us for our sins, and as always, in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Go ahead and pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Participation.
Would you like me to read the proclamation?
Yes.
Juneteenth Community Celebration Day Proclamation. Whereas on June 19, 1865, in Galveston, Texas, Major General Gordon Granger, commanding the Union Army troops, issued the General Order Number 3, enforcing the Emancipation Proclamation and informing the people of Texas that all slaves are free. Whereas 1865 June 19th has been celebrated as Emancipation Day or Juneteenth, which is the oldest known celebration commemorating the abolishment of slavery. Whereas this nationally recognized holiday is an opportunity to celebrate human freedom and redirect ourselves to deliver the full promise of freedom and equality for all Americans. Whereas we celebrate Juneteenth, let us recommit ourselves to work, equity, equality, and justice, reminding ourselves of the centuries of struggle, courage, and hope that have brought us to this time of progress and possibility, and ensure the events of 1865 are not forgotten. Therefore, here's Mayor City of Lampasas, on behalf of the City Council, does proclaim June 19, 2026 in the City of Lampasas as Juneteenth Community Celebration Day. Thank you.
And we have a acknowledgement of custodian maintenance, Tricia Iker, she here this evening. And we want to still honor her for 10 years of her service. And see Tricia out there today or tomorrow. Say thank you for all that she's done. Appreciate that. Public hearing, citizens' comments. Do we have any? No. Citizens' comment who desires to address the city council, and we have none of those. So we will go to 1.3. Public hearing to receive citizens' comment regarding a request to rezone property from retail R with specific use permits, SUP, to allow for assisted living facility to retail R with a planned development PD overlay to allow for the next for two 4-story independent living facilities, 1 assisted living facility, and 1 mixed use of amenities and apartment facilities. The property is described as 5.22 acres out of the LHW Johnson abstract, more commonly known as 2032 South US Highway 281, Lampasas, Texas, Lampasas County.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Lampasas 2 Investments LLC, the property owner, is asking to rezone from their existing retail with an approved specific use permit for 1 assisted living facility to a retail with a planned development overlay to allow for 2 4-story independent living facilities, 1 assisted living facility, and 1 mixed use facility. The area is characterized as retail. The property is surrounded by single-family homes, ag, and retail properties. All notifications and publications as required by ordinance and statute have been made. Staff mailed 10 notices to property owners, and 1 letter in favor was received back, and it did come from the property owner. The request was heard by the Planning Commission at the June 4th, 2026 meeting, and it passed with a 6-0 vote.
So this is where that assisted living center is, they're just wanting to expand?
Correct.
This is next to the golf course.
Correct.
They want to put in a 4-story building.
2 4-story buildings. There
2
will be
4-story
1 on the
buildings.
left
So
of the property.
where in the city ordinances does it allow for a 4-story building? Because I cannot find it.
That's where the planned development. That's where the planned development overlay would come from.
And so how are we going to defend that from fire? I'm sure it's got to be sprinkled, and I'm sure it's in the fire code, because I've already heard all that.
Well, per building code, you're required to sprinkle any building over 2 stories. So,
But-
but I'll allow him to speak.
Would they like to come pay for a ladder truck? That'd be great.
I don't know that you could convince them to pay for a ladder truck, that'd be great.
Well, it'd be nice if they could invest a little bit in it, and then we could say, yeah, let's go.
Yeah, no comment on that, that'd be great. The way the codes are designed on these buildings, I know to hear a 4-story building is concerning. I can't sit here and lie to you, Chief Davis is here, and say that our current ladder truck would reach it from all that. No, it can't. But I would urge you to consider what happens in other cities. There's plenty of buildings that can't be reached by ladder trucks. All of the codes that are in place now basically could be written on someone's headstone. They are in place so that things don't happen to people in those 4-story buildings or high-rise buildings. There'll be sprinkler, there'll be standpipe, they'll have smoke-protected enclosures in the stairwells that are 2-hour reinforced firewalls to allow for escape. Personally, me as the fire marshal, as long as it is built to the code and we can continue through the process, do the inspections, be sure that everything is done as it's said in the code, I personally would not be nervous about a 4-story building. But the chief may have other.
I concur with his. So I guess my biggest question is, how does the 4-story, and this might be for acting city manager, how does the existence of a 4-story building go into our current city ordinances? Which I'm telling you, I've read through everything and I don't see anything that allows it.
Is there an ordinance that doesn't allow it?
Everything says 3-story that I've seen. And now, that doesn't mean I didn't miss it. So that's why I'm asking for y'all's information.
There is not a current ordinance that says that we allow a 4-story building. The plan development overlay is where that comes into effect. We did just approve one a few months ago for a 4-story building. The highest building that our current zoning ordinance allows is 3 stories. So you're correct, there is not one out there that says that.
So how does the plan development change that?
They're bringing you this idea
Okay.
and asking you for approval. Granting a plan development overlay is saying that you are aware.
So it's a SUP, PD.
The plan development requires that you identify specifically which portions of the zoning ordinance you are asking for council to approve you to vary from.
Okay.
So when they apply for their PD, they state very specifically, I'm looking for smaller setbacks, I'm looking for 4-story instead of 3, I'm looking for X, Y, and Z, I want 1 tree instead of 3.
And I guess the fire code would be where we would fall back on as far as a 4-story approval, because they would have to get everything approved through fire marshal in order to say, yeah, go, build. Is that?
Correct, that's where the building code comes into play.
And we've already got that done on the hotel coming up.
Correct, and
4 stories.
Anything greater than 3 stories, the fire code becomes far more creative on it, and it calls for a lot more parts to the code.
Could I have a question for the owner, or the representative, please?
Hello, I'm Jeremy with the Therapeutics.
So my question is, we are going to be talking about people here who are probably in a wheelchair, walkers, maybe not physically able to get quickly out of the building. How do you come to terms, help us to understand how you deal with that with a 4-story building?
So this building, while it will house people 55 and older, there is a restriction by the building code that says when they get to a certain level that they cannot escape on their own, they're no longer allowed to stay in the building. So the assisted living we have already on the property meets those more stringent requirements, which is why it's only a single story. And so it gets to a point, one of the goals of the client is to age in place, create a community. So those people, as you'll obviously communicate with them and monitor them, and when they get to a point that they are no longer able to what we call self-preservate, they would have to be moved out of the facility into assisted living or preferably theirs to put them in a safer spot. So while there may be somebody with a wheelchair and a walker, they still have to be able to make some progress of getting out on their own. If they can't, they're not allowed to stay for their own safety.
And so the responsibility of that, assessing that situation falls on your company,
No, my
on
company,
site.
for the owner's company, yes.
Right.
And obviously the fire marshal, when they're doing their inspections and reviews, I'm sure they do fire drills and they make sure they respond in the appropriate amount of time. I think it's 16 minutes if it serves correctly, that they're not out in 16 minutes and that those people are allowed to stay in the building anymore.
And if the fire truck cannot reach it with the ladder, how else would they get out?
So the building is also, while it's fully sprinkled, it also has 1 hour fire resistant construction. The corridors are 1 hour rated, the floors 1 hour rated, the roof ceiling is 1 hour rated, the walls between the units are 1 hour rated, so they can stay in place to allow the fire department time to respond with the sprinkler system and the fire resistant construction that they can get to somebody safely if they need to.
And there are stairwells.
There are 2 stairwells on each end, so they can go out either the stairwell, so if the fire's in the middle of the building, people can exit either one side or the other and exit the building.
And are the elevators usable during fire?
The elevators are usable to fire with the fireman's key. They obviously they will shut down when the fire is there, but they can activate it if they determine it's safe enough to do so and be able to evacuate people out the elevator if they need to.
So if your mother was in there, or your grandmother,
Mm-hmm.
and she's in her 80s, and she's in a wheelchair, would you put her on the 4th floor?
I would, and my mom can't walk very well. So I wouldn't have any concerns. These buildings, as you mentioned, I mean, they are designed, they're sprinkled, they're safe. I mean, the days of, I mean, the answer is yes, I would have no issues with that.
Both of these 4 stories are independent.
They're independent. Yes, independent living. So as I said before, we're restricted. We can't put somebody that can't get out of their bed.
I'm just clarifying that. Right?
Yeah.
Both of those are independent.
Yeah, so there's 3 structures. The 2 4 stories are independent living, and there are 2 apartments. She said mixed use, but just to clarify, there's a clubhouse on the 1st floor, and then 2 apartments on the 2nd floor. So there's a total of, half a building and then 2 4-story buildings.
Well, we have the attention, but is this gonna take the place of the current facility, like you're gonna, so where are you putting it? Cause I can't figure out on the map where you're gonna put it.
So there's space on either end of the fire lane, west on the north and south side that we're squeezing in the fire lane. There's actually a PDF we sent with it that shows the 2 buildings, and the clubhouse is actually on the east side towards 281.
Could we
I
not
mean,
get
I
that?
got a drawing, map, but that's, I'm looking at it, remember, this is right by the golf course, right?
Yeah, it's just south of the golf course.
Okay.
If you give me a second, I'll pull something up.
There's not a lot of room on that lot.
No, they are skinny buildings. I mean, they barely fit. You would barely get them on there. Give me just a second. Can I bring you my phone and show you?
Yeah, absolutely, sure.
Yeah.
Charlie, here's one coming down.
Okay.
Issue.
Oh, little bitty things on either side.
Yes, sir.
How
How
many?
many total units are you looking at?
Oh, I think it's 20 in one building and 16 in the other, plus another 2.
Okay. Man, y'all have time in it.
Did you
It is-
say 21, 16, and 2?
I believe that. I'm going from memory. It's been a minute since I've looked at the plans because we've been at this for a while. So
The plans that I have is 22 in each 4-story building and 2 in the amenity building.
okay, thank you. We went through multiple designs and I couldn't remember which
Yeah.
one was about.
I'm sure it was a fun process, because there's not much property, you stuck it in there. Okay, cool.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions?
I do have one other.
Okay.
Several people have expressed concern about the flooding possibility on the back portion towards the creek. Can you address that?
Yeah, so obviously none of the buildings are built in the floodplain. They're all very much far from the floodplain. In addition, while not required, I think the lowest building elevation is 2.6 feet above the base flood elevation listed by FEMA, which is about what the assisted living is at. It's at 1039 or 1040. I've got the numbers here of what they are. One building's at 1030.
The ordinance?
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nay.
Wait. Make a motion to disapprove, so
Disapproved.
I would be in favor of disapproval.
I would be in favor of disapproval.
I'm in favor of disapproving.
Disapproving the second reading of the order.
Dorothy,
Yes.
3, 4.
I guess we'll have to wait for Eric to get back. Mr. Hernandez?
Bring it back to you on the next agenda.
Okay. All right, boards and department report. I do not think we have any tonight. Nope, so we will move on. Upcoming special event meetings, June 17th, 2026, EDC meeting at 5:30. June 19th, that'd be Juneteenth celebration at 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. And there's also a flyer attached. June 22nd, 2026, and then that will be our next council meeting.
Yes, and
That's
Councilwoman Key did point out that that's the same time that TxDOT is scheduled the I-14 route meeting in Lampasas. It's scheduled to begin at the same time at the middle school. So did we potentially want to discuss delaying the start of our council meeting?
30 minutes. Roughly, if we go to the I-15 before we adjourn.
There's gonna be 2 other meetings.
Times at like 14 meetings?
There's one more meeting right here, but that's not necessarily.
It's the same program.
And it's virtual too.
That's fine.
I think it's very important about that side. That thing's not even funded. We're looking at 15, 20 years.
Right.
That.
But it's gonna affect us tremendously. So I think it's important that we are, even though it's a long time down the road, I think the decisions that we make now need to be informed as well.
Could we start the meeting at 6? Right at the 5:30?
So that's what I would suggest.
I'd be fine with that.
I mean, and then we're assuming it's over at 6.
I think within the first 30 minutes, we should be able to get the information we need, essentially.
Well, I just don't.
Staff has a copy of the packet that's going to be handed out to you at that meeting.
You can go to TxDOT and research it.
I think the council,
The packet is what's going to be presented.
It's currently in your box at City Hall.
I think it's really important that the council show up in the public for that meeting.
Important to what?
To the public.
I can't hear.
To the public, that we show up at that meeting because it affects us all.
But it's not we're not commenting on anything during that.
Can you either?
So we're not commenting as a council at that meeting. And it's just presenting information, which we have, and it's.
Yeah, right, and if it was a deciding vote and we were needing to go, then I would see the need for us to be there. Otherwise, we can review it online and we can review it on paper.
It was just a discussion.
Okay. Let's move on.